Let me tell you something. I'm a big strategy game enjoyer. I love clicking things on a big map and organizing armies, managing big fronts, but can't manage talking to women, Thinking a billion hours if I should attack my enemy or just sit in one place and wither away. It's pretty fun, and I can guarantee I've gotten better in geography and in history, but in general, I'm still retarded. But probably you've guessed that. Maybe because by my videos you can see I'm mentally intact, or that I'm a very social human being, and I have lots of friends, or maybe because I'm rocking bitches. But enough of that. Hello and welcome people to Heroes Hour, a game which I don't know from where I got it, and I randomly picked it up from my Steam library because I didn't know what to play. Heroes Hour is a strategy pixel game, where you can pick one out of 12 available factions, and a DLC one. I must say, I liked it a lot. Whenever I wasn't getting rammed with a sharp blade up my exit hole. This game is hard, it's unfair, and let me educate you a bit. If you think you can be special, be creative, be unique, or tell yourself, "Oh my god, I will do something different," you can't and you will not be, alright? If you do not go by the rules, you will never succeed. You know why? Because if the AI smells that aroma, the aroma of weakness, of no armies, it will go after you, and it will decimate your faction. The civilians, the soldiers, the holy people, all gone, buried 6 feet into the ground. The more units the better, but the huge factor can be magic, and in many occasions magic can turn a losing match into a winnable one. Magic in the game is fun, and I mean fun, very fun. But hold on a second. When I'm writing this script, I do it in one go. I don't rewrite it a billion times. No. Whatever is on my mind, I type it. And I let it stay there. Because I think it's funny and I like it. Because I'm an egocentric maniac. That's why I write it scrambled. A bit random, but who cares? And why am I telling you this? Honestly, I don't know, it just came to my mind. The random skittle thoughts just come out of nowhere. Alright, so mechanics. I'm going to start with this first, then factions. You have heroes which are basically your generals, and I suggest you to pick the one which has a trait to increase your army size, because having more units than your enemy is very important. And by that I mean very. Because you'll take a lot of casualties. A lot. Your army can very easily be halved. And now,
oh no, I'm so weak now, but I removed my enemy's forces, so I should be alright.
No, you will not be. Oh look, their forces are back. How fun! That's why healing traits and hospitals are in the game. If you build a hospital in your town, it will save a good amount of your dead units. And if you have the healing trait, you'll save even more. So if you follow my advice, you will be okay. Then if you have a general who buffs your units, it becomes even better. There are a lot of traits in the game. Buffs, money and resources gains, army expansions, and more and more. Besides traits, which you can earn and upgrade through leveling, which can be done through battles, heroes have skills which upgrades one skill by 1 point each level randomly, but only the first 4. Attack increases your army's damage, defends their health. Knowledge increases mana regeneration per turn, and spell power, which increases the spell's power and reduces their cooldown. Luck and morale are earned through artifacts or through buildings. Luck increases critical strikes and morale prevents units from being terrified and have a small chance to get a boost for 10 seconds. Artifacts can be earned through exploring and defeating random units on the map. There are 12 slots for artifacts and there are a ton of them. It's mad how much content this game has. And it's incredible. There are sets which can grant bonuses when you have all of the required equipment. Then there are the buildings. Not as much as the artifacts or traits in the game, but there are many. Some give you loot after you defeat certain enemies in them, others let you recruit non-faction units, or they let you sacrifice either resources, units, or mana for XP units or materials. Some give you bonuses to battles, some unlock different kind of spells, some let you buy artifacts. Like holy fucking shit, there is so much content. The content is a lot, and it does make the game different every time. The maps are randomly generated, depending on the factions and the type of map. There are a bunch of map types, and you can play up to 7 factions in one game. You can even create your own maps in the game, and download custom made ones. The editor is buggy. After you put bunch of stuff on the map, it becomes laggy, and I can't be bothered. I wish it was better, but nothing as huge as the magic spells. Man, there's so fucking many spells, I cannot even comprehend. I haven't even seen all of them. It's insane, and I love it. So hear me out. There's spells for summoning different kind of troops. There's spells for healing, protection, terror, duplicating units, confusing enemies, giving fire, frost, health attacks to friendly units, teleporting friendlies or opposing forces, making your people giants. There are destructive ones like blizzard, arrow rain, poison, meteorite strikes, fireballs, explosion which deals damage to all units, spell for removing half of the units on the map, raising the dead, making corpses explode, revival, deranking or making units your own or making them insane. There are many. And spells are lifesavers, because once in a battle I was losing and the enemy had a spell which transforms all units on the field to random creatures. 70% of the times the enemy's spell was in my favor, because I was getting the OP units, so I decimated them. I never use it, cause I'm good. I don't want to see all of my men going to the train. Or there are sea battles and units can be thrown into the water and they die instantly. Now use Comet Rain on them. You see that? I call it efficiency. But don't think you're safe, because it damages friendlies too. That's what's annoying for this spell. Even if you think it's gone, randomly out of nowhere, a single meteorite will go hee hee and kill some of your units. But hey, it is what it is. You have your main city which can be upgraded, and every faction has its own unique art style for buildings and a theme song. The artwork is lit, mainly the DK one. I love the soundtrack too. It's very well made and each place has its own track, which is very nice. Now the factions. Order is a generic medieval European faction. Although they look pretty cool and they have Kazadra who looks mighty hot, the units are not that strong in my opinion. They look cool, but they pretty alright. Their unique feature is that they can make an idol who, depending on what you sacrifice, scales his power. You can only have one idol at a time. The other unique building is the conscription center. The more you enlist, the less your income is. Pure is a Chinese faction. You have a bunch of pandas, monkeys and tigers with weapons. I like them, but not as much as Order. Their unique buildings are the tea house, which gives random buffs each week, and the purest of essence, which whatever resource you sacrifice, you get random units from all factions. Arcane is the wizard people. Their city looks dank as fuck. They have a bunch of genies, wizards and scrolls. Their unique buildings are the Either Forge, which lets wizards to upgrade their skills, and for artisans to gain units. And the Arcane Spire, which whenever you lose a certain number of units, you get a special unit. DK is badass. I don't care what you say, it's the coolest faction in the game. I mean, look at their city layout. And it's the first faction with which I didn't get vigorously trusted from my opponents. I had the best experience with them and I felt like a god. Always pick Lord of None, because why not? Their unique buildings are the Throne of Death, where you can convert alive units into undead ones. And the Soul Beacon, which after units die, you get souls, and with these souls, you can summon undead troops. Pyre are the demon people. At the start they are so weak, but in the endgame they are good. Their unique buildings are the ever-burning flames, which creates portals between mines. Inferno Gate, which is very useful, and you have to have it because you can spend sulfur, so there can be units which spawn during battle. And Magma Grave, which upon death of faction units gives you a special unit. Lament is a silly faction. The heroes look goofy, but they're not bad. Their special buildings are quite good. You have the slave pens, which adds 2 slaves to your garrison, and if you have non-Lamon troops in your city's garrisons, you get more gold per day. Idol of Shadows, in which you can make a ritual once a week, where in battle you will paralyze the enemy's troops. And Temple of Dragons, which gives you a dragon unit every even-numbered week. Also, their city idol song is pretty hard. Like damn! Horde is the Gomblinus and the other Badlands-like creatures. They're pretty weak for me. They have Banner of Champions, which after battle you can upgrade your normal guys into elite ones. And Wayfire's Guild, which I mean, it's Woud is the Forest Lovers, the elves and animals, not as good as the Undead Gang. Grizzly Den gives you more bears to your army, and you have Elemental Gate, which lets you pick a specific elemental unit to join you. Tight is for pussies. Who would play these innocent sea creatures? Nah man, I prefer Death and Agony. This shit is weak, for boys only. Men play manly factions. They're strong at sea mainly. Tempo of Tides allows your army to create a fleet if you're next to water and summon the army back from the water to town. Purro Shrine allows you to get Purros and increase your unit growth. Urdan is the almighty dwarves. They have mortars and big yetis, which makes them dank for me. They have Rune Forge, in which you can pick one rune buff, but you need either a rune carver or stone mason. Then Monument of War, which looks like the mercenary hoe, but it can only recruit dwarven type units. Enclave is the lizard people, the ones who didn't get decimated by the big rock. Their buildings are Deep Tunnels, which gives you random resources each day, and Slithering Temple, which allows you to get a Great Hydra every 10 days. Delirium are ex-humans whose art style and concept are sick. Their units look grotesque. I mean bro, they have a fucking strange ass fish unit who is called Princess. And look at their generals. They have Forbidden Tome, which with each spell you own you get +1 knowledge but reduces armor with 2. And the Idol of 3, which allows you to pick an elite unit to fight for you. But they're weak for me. I don't like the mechanic much where you have to sacrifice a certain number of cooties to recruit the higher tier units. It's more damaging than good. I've played them and I felt with them. They're cool but not so strong. That's all of the factions shortly explained. Now, the Rogue DLC. Rogue Realms is very expansive. It adds new towns, new factions, new heroes, new units, new skills and new buildings for the new and old factions. There are 12 new factions, but only 6 are playable, and the other 6 are just factions which introduce new heroes. You have Tyranny, who are the dragon people, and all rogue nations have the same buildings, but other nations don't have the rogue specific faction buildings. Vendor, who are the other forest lovers. Experiment, who are the crazy doctors and whose armies are pretty fucked up. If you look at some of their units, they look horrific. Industry are the Robo Dudes and they are my most favorite rogue faction. And when I played with Octavius, for some reason my weakest unit number from 10 got to 100 every time. I play a battle and I've won almost every battle without getting casualties. I think it's because of the duplication trait I have. Spore is the mushroom faction where they can turn any mine into a spore mount and get free units. And finally, we have Province, who are the happy fairy tale faction. Before I forget, you have skirmishes too, which are battles you can play with limited number of units. That's all of the base content of the game, but it does have a good modding community and probably from some of the clips you have seen I have mods on. My personal favorites are the Warhammer 40k ones, Diesel Empire mod, the Orcs mod and the Lovecraft mod. These mods add some of the most overpowered units I've ever seen. Of course, I have the XP modifier mod, but shh. You don't have to know. It's 15 euros on Steam. I recommend buying it if you're a fellow enjoyer of strategy games. It's a niche title and it's very enjoyable. They only need to fix some lag issues with battles and the map editor. But before I end the video, I want to talk about something. You have seen how YouTube wants to remove ad blockers, right? I did remove my ad blocker and oh my god, the ads are just something else. I've never seen such delusional, brain dead ads in my life. And not gonna lie, I feel targeted for some reason. I get these about escaping the Matrix, how to awaken your pineal gland, and 75% of people are affected by the doses of the fuck was it, fluorine or some shit. And they want me to click their sketchy looking site about how to finally escape it and discover what the CIA did to the innocent people to uncover their grotesque experiments. No way the CIA did that. I cannot comprehend the mental underdevelopment of these beings. Or the reckoning day when the economy will crash and society will crumble. We will drown in poverty and be enslaved by and be enslaved by the disgusting corporations. Bro, calm the fuck down, holy fuck. And why do I get the American ads? I don't even live there. I don't fucking care. Bro is telling me about the American economy crash. Bro, I live in Eastern Europe. My country is already crumbled. And the final type of brain delayed ads, relationship and women. I can't. So they just begin with, do women ghost you? Do you feel lonely? Do you want to know how to attract women? And it's done by either this fucking dude who films himself in 3000 different fucking podcast sets, or these two women going like,
oh, I didn't see you there.
While sucking on a strawberry.
Do you know what women like?
And their earth-shattering advice is talk to women. Oh, no way! Talk to woman? already filled the guide, guys! I thought you had to kidnap the woman in the dark and take her to my basement, lock her and give her fucking soil and worms for dinner. What? I'm fucking going insane. And like, damn, okay dude, I know I'm lonely, you don't have to remind me, okay? God damn, can you just leave me to watch this succulent, strong, smart, wise, steaming, hot, bold man discuss one game for 1 billion hours, Asmongold my beloved. But I do get these normal ads about new and upcoming games, mobile games and VTubers. These come up 15% of the time and I like these ads. Informs me about something I like video games. Maybe I would check the game out or do 100 levels on the mobile game cause it irritated me. Or maybe I would check that one VTuber who seems like a very cool and funny person. And finally, how the fuck does the EU Parliament manage to break through my ad blocker on Twitch, showing a guy who does golf balls searching for a job? Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day. August 12, 2036.
Bye bye, guys!
SpongeBob, me boy, you're 2 seconds late for work, boy. Get in the kitchen and make me some money, hey. Shut up, Mr. Krabs, shut the fuck up. Listen here, Krabs. Me and Squidward Krabs, and we gave the formula to Plankton.